guys, I want to talk with you about how to structure your paragraphs in your outline phase and in your rough draft phase. So you've got your key details, you've pulled them over from Noodle Tools, you've got your citations attached to the quotes you want to use, and you've got your works cited started down below. So now we need to take those bits of information and turn them into an argument or a fully thought out idea. So what we're going to do is we're going to be looking we're in the folder, Unit 2 Summative, TED Talk. And in this folder, we have our assignment that we're working out of, which is this AS10 Unit 2 Summative, How Does Power Shape Our World? So we're clicking on that, and you can see that each step has a video and descriptions, and you've been using these along the way to help you. And we are right now, you just cleaned up your outline, and now we're crafting our rough draft in Schoology. And here I've given you an electronic version of a document that I gave you before we left, and that's the critical paragraph expectations. And basically this just helps you learn that process we've kind of started and kind of played with a little bit on developing a critical paragraph. Now you're going to take your critical paragraphs and you're going to develop them to help build your argument. So I gave you this so that you could have an idea of like how to structure that. So when you open it up, you can see that this is the document, and I've highlighted it to kind of help you see that pretty much the structure is the same for every paragraph. You have a topic idea, topic sentence, some context, some evidence, and some analysis. Sometimes you repeat that step for several quotes. Sometimes you just need one, depending on the size and shape of your essay. For what we are doing for this, you will either use the nonfiction idea to make sure you have that, or nonfiction to nonfiction idea. So you're either connecting two pieces of nonfiction together to support your topic, or you're specifically just talking about something from a nonfiction text. Either way works, and they're both pretty similar. I'm going to talk with this down here because you'll have at least 2 quotes per essay, per paragraph, excuse me. So I've highlighted and made it a note here so you can kind of know where to look for this. So you have your topic sentence that basically kind of gives the idea of that paragraph, and you're connecting to your thesis. So you're going to pull in that idea of power, and you're going to pull in that idea of the situation that you're talking about. You're going to give your quote from the article, including context and a citation. So context could be different things. Context could be who made the comment. Because sometimes if it's somebody who's famous or well-renowned or really important in the field, they're really important. And so that's good context. It could give background about a situation. And it could give just like a general setup to kind of lead into the topic. So it could just be general. You don't have a ton of words, so for this essay, it's a pretty short essay. So when you're using context, you want to make sure that every word you use is really important and that you're using every ounce of your paper to be able to help you develop that. You don't really have a lot of extra fluff space. So the context really needs to be relevant to the argument that you're making. So then you give your quote. Quote should be a sentence or less. If it's more than that, you will probably end up having to get into some complex quoting situations, and really what I want you to focus on is really what is the most important aspect. So if you need it to be longer than a sentence, you can paraphrase that. Okay, so quote, this is really can be a paraphrase. But you really just need to get it watered down to about a sentence or so when you get to this, or not watered down, but like synthesized into about a sentence or so. Then you're going to analyze this. So this is where you connect your topic back to your thesis. Okay, so this connects. All right, so as you're connecting it back to your thesis, that is what's kind of, you're weaving your thread of this idea you have. So you're constantly keeping everything really focused on your big idea, which is your thesis for your paper. So that's what you're doing here. And then you're going to do that again for the next quote. So for every quote, you have some kind of introduction bit, you have the quote itself, and you have some kind of analysis. So each quote has 3 parts. This could be as much as 3 to 5 sentences, or as little as maybe the lead in is part of the quote, and so your analysis is its own thing. So it could be as short as 2 sentences. So it really just depends on what you're trying to argue and how you set it up, on how much space it needs to take. Again, this is a short essay, so you want to be very concise with your language and very to the point of when you get across. So shorter is better, but in order for shorter to be better, you have to use very specific language and very detailed descriptions. Okay. So, and it's really, the detailed descriptions really is about word choice and making sure you use really important words that tell you something rather than having to add other details. So, so that is how you structure that. At the end, you're going to connect the two together and kind of connect it back to your thesis statement, and then make sure you have your works cited for everything added at the bottom to where your works cited is going to be. So thank you for watching this. I hope this helps you get structured on your video. Most of these are pretty much the same all the way through. If you decide to use another structure, that's completely fine, but it's pretty much the same. Every quote is going to have that background, the quote itself, and then your analysis. So, all right, good luck.